Hello, welcome to the Naughty Knitting Cousins podcast. We are recording our very first episode, episode 1. It's October 23rd, 2022. I'm Cheryl.
And I'm Tammy.
And we're cousins. So what we're here to talk about today is knitting and any other crafty things. I don't think we have any other crafty things at this point.
Just knitting.
Just knitting. So, Tammy, what are you wearing today?
Today I'm wearing the Dotted Ray shawl. It's a Stephen West pattern. And I used Karen Cake. I'm not sure what the colorway was. Just picked it up at Michael's. Quite love it. Nice, easy pattern. I don't recall what the colorway was, but I love the variegation of the black to the grays to the light grays.
I'm quite impressed with how soft that.
Yeah, it turned out really nice, and it softened up really nice once it was blocked. And what are you wearing?
I am wearing the Weekender by Andrea Mowry. I knit it out of Fleece and Harmony wool. They're, I guess you could, well, they raise their own sheep, and they hand dyed the wool, and they're out of Prince Edward Island. And I enjoy the sweater. I used Aran weight instead of worsted. I didn't realize there was a difference. I'm not a overly new knitter, or I'm a fairly new knitter, but I'm not fond of boat net collar. So I don't know. I enjoy it. I wear it around the house more than anything. It's a bit bulky for me, but yeah, the Weekender.
Nice, comfy knit.
Yeah, it's cozy warm.
And do you have anything else for finished objects?
I do. I actually do. I had kind of lost my sock knitting mojo for a while, but I'm back onto it. So I finished a pair of Halloween Advent Calendar socks. This is wool from Polka Dot Creek yarn, and it was part of a Halloween Advent. I actually used the short, what is it called? The shorty ribbed.
Get shorty ribbed?
Yes, Get Shorty rib socks. I can't remember who wrote the pattern. Sorry about that. But I actually made them a bit longer. So I kind of altered it a bit. And then another pair, which is also Polka Dot Creek yarn.
And where Polka Dot Creek located?
In Airdrie, Alberta, just north of Calgary, is another self-striping set. This one I did as a toe-up sock, just plain vanilla. And it's called Christie, I believe.
So when you make your socks, how many stitches do you end up with?
Normally, I tend to do 56.
Okay.
28 on each needle. I do the magic loop as well. You'll see with my work in progresses.
Very nice.
Do you have any other finished objects?
Well, I just happened to bring a few socks. I'm actually visiting Cheryl from Saskatchewan, so when I flew in, I didn't bring in any of my finished objects, but I do have a couple of socks that I had packed with me. I have, this is a Shirley Bryan yarn. Love the fade on it. And I just did a simple tube sock, and I honestly can't remember how many I cast on for it, but it just knit until I ran out of yarn and just did a simple bind off. So this sock is very comfortable. I love the wool, and it actually fits in my bloodstones quite nicely. I wasn't sure how a sock would work without a heel, but it's really comfortable.
So when you wear boots and that, do they slouch down a little bit?
Yeah, I slouch them down so they just kind of peek over top of my bloodstones. So
nice.
This is a very nice sock. Quite
yeah,
enjoy
I love
it.
the colors.
Yeah, she has a really unique way of dyeing. It's very nice. And I have another sock, and I'm sorry I can't remember the name of the pattern. It was by Crazy Sock Lady, and I don't remember what colorway this is. I have a few pairs of socks, and I just don't recall what the wool was.
I know what you mean by that.
But it's got a nice pattern on the front of the sock, and it goes nice like a chevron.
I was going to say, I like how it goes up and down like that. Really nice.
So these socks, and they're comfortable. They're a little big. I'm just kind of experimenting with how many stitches to cast on that fit my feet. So it's a work in progress. And then the last pair of socks I brought they're the Get Ribbed Shorty. Ribby shorty. So
It's hard to.
I tend
some of
to,
those.
it is. I tend to make shorty socks, so they just sort of peek over the top of my Blundstones or my sneakers.
See, and I like a longer leg on mine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So those are my finished objects. I have a few more at home.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll be able to talk about them hopefully at some point.
Yeah.
I don't know if Tammy mentioned she's from Saskatchewan.
Mm-hmm.
You may have already. Sorry if I missed that.
Yep.
But we don't get to see each other very often, so we thought we're together. Let's start a podcast and see what happens.
Yep.
So, whips.
Okay.
Do you have any works in progress?
I brought one with me. I am currently working on the muscle burr hat. So this is the pattern. I quite enjoyed it because I was.
Is that a paid pattern? Or
Yes,
is it,
yep, a paid
okay.
pattern. And this actually was inspired by a World War II era pattern for soldiers, and it is knit in a tube. So you make a long tube, and then you can put it inside the other tube and wear it as a hat, or what they did is they'd pull it apart and wear it like a scarf if they needed.
So could you wear it the other way around and have two colors?
You can reverse it, yep.
Oh, okay. Are you doing yours all one color?
Nope.
Or?
So with this hat, I'm making it out of the Pearl Soho linen quill, salt and pepper colorway. And then the next color is the kettle black. It's the Pearl Soho as well, out of their linen. And I started this, it's easy project so that I could fly. I cast on, and then it's a basic simple knitting pattern, so it's easy mindless knitting when you're watching TV or flying on the plane. And so they'll have the two colors together, be able to wear it.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'll be nice when that's done.
And I'm
I
using,
like feeling
it's very soft, very soft. Actually, these are the leftovers from the half and half wrap shawl that I made.
Oh, okay.
So it's a good way to use up my scraps for that. And I'm using 2.5 millimeter needles. This is the, what needles are these? Addies. And to be honest, I really don't like the Addies so much because the cable is stiff and it gets kind of awkward knitting with sometimes. So while I was here, I picked up some chalgood to switch out with because the cable, I much prefer it over the Addie cable.
Yeah.
Addies are nice and smooth, but I prefer the chalgoo. So
Yeah, I found the same thing.
that's the only whip I brought with me.
Oh, okay. I have 3 whips. I'm trying to figure out where to start.
So many whips, so little time.
Yes. So I am working on a, excuse me, shift along hat. It's a hat kit. And the shift along, or it's a shift hat, is by Andrea Mowry. It's called Shift Along, or toque as I call it. And I'm using Prairie Spirit alpaca wool, which is a farm about half an hour from where I live. And here's my,
And that was a paid pattern as well.
yes, it was a paid pattern, thank you. So here's where I'm at. I did make some mistakes, but I just call them, it's mine, made by me pattern, or altered by me unintentionally. But it'll be good. I don't want to put it on my head because I don't want to.
So soft. Oh, it'll be nice.
Yeah. So that's one whip. And this is my, I guess my second toque I've made. Excuse me, I've got. And then I am working on another pair of polka dot creek socks. I have a little hot dog progress keeper that Tammy got me one time. I like hot dogs. And again, this is by Polka Dot Creek. As you can see, I do the 2 at a time, toe up. That's my my method that I prefer. And this is self-striping sock Melissa. 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. And these ones here are 50 grams. And then there's a contrasting toe and heel that comes with the kit. I think it's 20 grams, but don't quote me on that. I can't quite remember.
And that's vanilla sock, or is?
Just vanilla.
Yep.
And 28
Okay.
on each side. And then the final whip I have is in a bag I bought here in Calgary. at a local yarn shop called, oh, I have a hard time saying this one, Billy Kuluka,
Yes.
something like that, handmade. So yeah, I thought it was cute with a sheep on it. And this is my first ever Holst yarn. I'm making socks. Again, toe up. This one I'm doing a rib pattern on the front, knit 3, purl 1 across. And this one is 32 or 64 stitches. And the one is Holst yarn Highland, and it's crystal. Sorry, that's kind of wobbly. And the other one is, I cannot say that. Oh, ecru. Sorry, I probably moved that too fast for you guys. So, and that's my final one I'm working on.
I have a few whips at home. Couldn't bring them all with me on the plane, so just brought one. And part of the reason that I'm here with Cheryl today is I flew in for the the Shindig Collective fiber show in Calgary, and I don't have a local yarn shop, so I came here and to fill my suitcase, and I think I did a pretty good job, I think.
Well, I honestly don't think you got enough because you don't come out that often.
One more reason to come back.
That's true.
So I'll start with one of my, I've got a few
Yeah, why don't you show us a couple that you've got
acquisitions. So I started off, I've had my eye on this Polka Dot Creek hat set. So it's using the tweed. And this is DK weight. So I have a few hat patterns that I know I can make with this. And this is the charcoal colorway. And it came with the pom-pom, which is nice. So it's got a little elastic that once you're finished with the hat, you put a button on the inside.
Move it this way.
And you just stick the elastic through the top and tie it to the button. So that is one of them. So this will be a fun knit.
I think you'll see a theme with her her color selections.
Yeah, and then the next I bought from, it's Cloud9 Fiberworks. It's backwards, but this I loved it. It's with the sparkle in it. It'll look really nice as a hat. Really nice colorway. Love
Yeah,
the sparkle.
I'm glad they showed up there. It's a little bit more purple on the screen than here.
Yeah, it's more of a black colorway. So this is the Pro Stratus DK Winter is Coming colorway. And I had stopped at a wool shop, Yarn Twisters,
Yes.
in local to Cheryl, her local yarn shop, and I picked up this, thought it was just the most perfect pom-pom to go on the top of this hat.
Isn't that going to be gorgeous?
Beautiful hat.
I can't wait to
And I
see.
really like these pom-poms because they have a foam button, and then you just pull the ribbon through and tie it on the inside of the hat. So it's easy to take off should you need to wash your hat, but that's beautiful. I love that.
Did you say foam?
Yep, this one's foam.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Makes it a little lighter, so yeah,
Nice.
that'll be nice. So, did you go with you for another acquisition? I don't want to steal the show.
Well, I'll just do one and then
Okay.
you could do some more because you bought a bit more than I did, of course, which makes sense. So I also bought a Polka Dot Creek DK weight. This is called Blueberry Tweed and pom-pom for a toque. And I have no idea what pattern I'm going to use for that. I'll probably get some help with Tammy on that because she's knit a ton of hats. I haven't knit very many. So yeah, that's my one acquisition. I'm quite excited about it. I like kind of the blue color. So
Yeah.
you'll kind of see themes as we go along as to colors.
Yep.
But yeah, you go on.
So the next color or the yarn I bought was from the Flock Studio. You see their label here. Well, again, my grays and blacks.
What happens if you pull it this way a bit? That's a bit better. I don't know. It's quite bright out. These are windows and it's snowed out.
Yeah, lots
kinda
of
bright.
snow. We only Yarnies would have driven through the snow we did yesterday morning to go to the shindig, It was the first snowfall in Calgary, so, but we're used to that. So that color, this wool, I plan on making the Pure Joy shawl by Joji Locatelli. So I'm looking forward to making that shawl. And this is going to be beautiful to work with. This is a, what is this? 100% superwash merino. This colorway is silver lining. And this colorway is weather vane. But this is the sock, the Take a Hike sock, which is 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon.
I actually made a pair of socks out of that Take a Hike sock one time, and they're really comfortable.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Did you want to?
Yeah, I have one final one. Sorry, I'm going off screen here. And again, Polka Dot Creek. I really enjoy their wool, and they're local. So I do like supporting local when I can, and definitely Canadian. Being Canadian, but I do go across the border as well. So anyhow, this is, they call this one rose gold, but there's some minis and mohair. I have never knit with mohair before, so I'm not sure what I'm thinking about that one. I've heard it's kind of fluffy and ends up your nose, so I don't know. But this is for mittens. And they did have some samples of mittens there, and they were so soft. I thought, oh, I should get a pair. And it sounds like I might be able to make 2 pair out of this.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh.
She said I might have to buy maybe 1 or 2 more.
Okay.
But that's fine.
Scraps that would work too.
I probably do. So yeah, that was my other purchase. So that was it for my purchases.
Okay, from the shindig, I had purchased these 2, sorry for the crinkling, just some little minis to make gnomes. So I have the pattern, let's see, it's, find it here on Ravelry.
Here, I can hold that for you.
It is the Choose Your Gnome Adventure. So I've just picked up some minis for that. And then I also grabbed these minis too to make some gnomes. Usually every Christmas I try and find a little thing to knit people as gifts. So I have a feeling there might be a few lucky people to get some gnomes from me at Christmas. We'll see.
Tammy does a really good job on the little...
Yeah, I like making toys. I jumped on the frog bandwagon. So if we do another podcast, I'll bring one of my frogs to introduce you to. It was a lot of fun. So of course, after I left the shindig, my daughter messaged me and showed me this pattern, and I wish she'd have shown it to me before we left because I could have bought some yarn at the show, but I absolutely love this ghost. And I have a few little ones in my life, so I like to give them little gifts when I go visit. So I got the pattern right away, of course, and we stopped at Yarn Twisters because I needed needles. And again, I don't have a local yarn shop, so I try to do as much shopping as I can here. Well, good excuse anyways. So I picked up this lily and pine. And the one thing with the Gnome Adventure, you can use any sized yarn for that project. So anywhere from DK to fingering or whatever yarn you have on hand. So this is the Aspen Worsted, which is 100% superwash merino. So if you have it for little kids, you can wash it. And this colorway is Silver Fox. I think that might make some nice little ghosts. I also have a bunch of scraps at home that I can use as well.
Again, that one was blowing out a little bit. It's more of a grayer tone versus the purple.
Yeah, it's kind of, it has a blue
blue
to it as
tinge.
well. So then while I was at Yarn Twisters, I had to leave with another pom-pom because you can never have too many pom-poms. So got this pom-pom to go with another hat. I tend to make hats as gifts at Christmas as well. But I like to have them on hand because they're a quick knit for gifts if you need it. So that was my final purchase.
Yeah,
Did pretty
well.
good.
You did well. I mean, it's been a year since you've been out here, and you've been without a yarn shop for just about a year, I would say.
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't think she bought enough to hold her over the winter. In fact, I know that's
You
the
haven't
case.
seen my stash. I have a few things waiting for me when I get home that I ordered online. I've got ordered some more holsts, so
Yes.
let's see what happens. I have something to look forward to when I get home.
Yeah, and we do have a knit along we're planning on doing between the two of us. We could mention that now because we might be started before. If we do, well, hopefully we'll do another podcast. So our intention is to do another one. But we're planning on doing the Autumn League sweater.
Autumn League pullover.
Autumn League pullover. Why don't you talk about the yarn a bit, and I'll get the sweater pulled up if I can.
So I just happened to be watching the Front Porch Knitter podcast, and she had knit one out of the Lion brand jean cotton. Is it?
Yeah, it's called Lion brand LB Collection Cotton Jeans.
Yeah.
And that's the sweater.
Again, that's a paid-for pattern.
It's got that little
It's got the V-neck or the little cross.
yeah.
That's sort of like I have on my sweatshirt right now. There's a little cross there.
Yes.
So we're going to start that. I have my wool already. Cheryl's just waiting for hers. And the Front Porch Knitter absolutely loved hers. So I took my inspiration from her, and I'm looking forward to starting because I got my yarn and it feels fabulous. I can hardly wait to start knitting with it.
Yeah, and I'm anxious too. It should be really fun. I'm still learning how to knit sweaters, so we've got to figure that one out a little bit more.
Yeah, we're just both kind of learning how to do the sizing properly with taking into consideration the positive ease and all that. So
yeah, I've been knitting. I think I started around 2017, 18. I know for sure because that's when I signed up to Ravelry.
And I started knitting when I was pregnant with my daughter, my first child, who is now 31, so that's a few years ago. I had her young, no. And then in between I had taken a break because with kids, they kind of take over your life. But I've been knitting now probably a good 20 years, just a lot of gifts and mostly smaller things, sweaters. Like we said, we're kind of just new at knitting sweaters, so.
Yeah, so we're gonna go on a sweater adventure together.
Yep.
Let's see, I picked blue, and you picked
Gray, of course. So.
But yeah, so that's something that hopefully we'll have in the works next podcast. It might be a month out before we do the next one. But do you have anything else that you can think of?
No, those were all my projects and my one whip, and looks like I've touched on everything in my little pile here, so.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining us. I hope you stuck around till the end. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed spending the time with us. Like I said, we do plan on doing some more. It's going to be a bit more of a challenge, though, because we're going to have to figure out that distance.
Yeah, the logistics between Alberta and Saskatchewan, trying to figure out the technology. So
yeah, I'm not real technological, but we'll get it figured out and kind of go from there. Please put any comments down below if you see anything with this yarn that you think would work. I'm all for any ideas because I'm run short of them. And yeah, what else do you have? Anything?
No, that's just it, I guess. Like Cheryl said, like and subscribe. Any comments would be appreciated. And we look forward to seeing you again.
Okay. See you later.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye.